me and my cousin, we've always loved watching scary videos. Like all the time, we'd watch YouTube videos of ghost hunting, monster videos, horror movies. We're just naturally drawn to those spooky, like, videos, movies. And one time we did a family get together at my grandparents' house, and my grandma's house is a creepy house with porcelain dolls all around. It's always just had this creepy, eerie feeling to it. Whenever we go over, it's like something's off, even to this day, and it's been like that since I was a kid. So naturally, we watch scary videos
naturally.
Yeah,
naturally.
Add to the spook factor. So yeah, we were just searching through urban legends, and we came across a video like top 10 countdowns of scariest urban legends that might be true, and the Rake was brought up for like 2 minutes, and mind you guys, none of this was brought up about the nightmares being induced staring at you at the foot of your bed. That was never brought up in the video. All it said was its eyes were terrifying to stare at. It's like its body's creepy and stuff, and it showed this really scary picture that I'll put in for you guys. So viewers discretion is advised for this picture because it terrified me. And if we got younger viewers, just be ready.
Now's the time. Turn your phone.
Yeah.
Upward.
Upward or
you
open.
know?
Yeah.
Upward and onward.
Push them off your shoulder.
Yeah.
So it pulled up a picture of that, and it was just talking about, it brought up the sailors, like, oh, I saw the Rake in a nightmare. That was it. That was as far as like the nightmare was. He didn't describe like it was at the foot of my bed. It was staring directly at my face. I closed my eyes and I saw his eyes all the time. We watched that at like 12 o'clock, so lunchtime-ish. We go throughout our day. We go to bed around 10. Me and my cousin, we're sleeping in the same room because why not? We're just having a good old sleepover. And we go to sleep, and I have this nightmare where I wake up from where I am, and in this dark corner of the room, which usually isn't that dark as like my nightmare, but you know when you're looking in a corner, it's dark, but you can still make out shapes and stuff.
Did it have like a nightlight in that room, or was
No,
it
was just
straight dark?
It was like the only light we had was coming from the window and the moon.
I see now.
But that specific corner was straight black, and it looked like a tunnel to nowhere. And I see the Rake's face from that picture peek out through the shadows, crawl up a little bit, and it's just staring at me. And I was staring at its face, and I couldn't move. All I could do was close my eyes, but when I closed my eyes, I saw his face jumping at me, like jump scare. Every time I blinked, every time I closed my eyes to look away, and I finally opened them again, and he was gone. And all of a sudden, the computer in that room, like, blasted on. It did the whole Windows XP, like the dun-dun-dun, that thing. It just went boom, blasted on. The light from the monitor, like, turned on, lit up the entire room. I shoot straight up, and I'm like in a sweat, and I'm like breathing hard, and I look over, and my cousin's shot straight up, and I thought, oh, maybe the speakers woke him up. So I couldn't go back to bed, and I'm like, I told him, I'm like, hey, I can't go back to sleep. Do you mind if I watch TV? He's like, I can't fall asleep either. I'm like, okay. So we turn on Netflix, we watch some Disney show, something light, and I can't look at that corner the same, like, throughout the entire night, because I just don't want to see the Rake. And the next morning, we got zero sleep. We were up from, I don't know what time it was, all the way to the next night. Like, yeah, we didn't get sleep. And so I asked him in the morning, I'm like, so did you hear, like, the computer wake you up? He's like, yeah, it was weird. I was having this terrible nightmare. And he described the Rake, that whole nightmare I had, but from his perspective. The exact same nightmare. We had the same exact nightmare, but from his perspective. Every time I tell this story, I get chills. I
don't know what to think. I'm like speechless almost. That'd be so freaking creepy.
My fingers are tingling, so I must be somewhat scared.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my personal story.
It's spooky.
But
yeah,
you did
that's
have
really
a video,
spooky.
right? You had like a...
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to
Okay,
next.
okay.
So back in 9th grade, before I knew anything about the Rake, anything at all, I didn't know it was an urban legend that exists. Like, but I knew that there were monsters out there. Like, judge me however you want. I'm a believer in Bigfoot. I believe in ghosts. I believe in all that stuff. So to me, like, when I learned about the Rake and I had that nightmare, to me it makes sense that this might be out there. And what I'm about to tell you is like all the proof I need to know that the Rake or something Rake-like exists. So back in 9th grade, I'm a senior now, about to graduate. I had a friend, I'm not going to say his name, but we'll call him Josh for this, for the sake of...
Okay.
Josh.
I go into class, and me and Josh, we've always, like, I've always been into scary videos for, as long as I can remember. And so I just found a friend who was into that same stuff, too. He was also kind of like the punk kid who would, like, not obey all the rules. So he went into, like, an abandoned... I don't know if you can even call it abandoned sewer. Are sewers ever abandoned? Like,
One of those little freaks. No.
yeah. Him and his gang of friends went in the sewer just to walk around. And yeah, I'm not
Get
gonna.
them so scared.
Yeah. And he was telling. I come into class, and he's like Tyson, and he's not himself that day.
You should.
Yeah, I go sit by him like, "What's up?" He's like, "I have something to show you," and he like tells me the story before he shows me this video, and he's telling me he's like, I was walking in that sewer, and we were getting deeper than we used to get, and we stumbled across like all this satanic like spray paint, and he's like, oh, teenagers must have came in here, done like spray paint stuff, blah blah blah, and also like the standard graffiti, garbage and stuff. But he's like, he noticed a lot more like crosses, a lot more like not
The freaky stuff.
yeah. And they keep going in this tunnel, and he said he thought he heard something, so he pulled out his phone on Snapchat and he turned on the flashlight and he started videoing, and he's getting darker and darker into the tunnel because they're getting further and further away from the entrance / exit. They hear something with his friends, and he's like, what is that? So he like gets his phone, he videos it, and he gets closer, and he said he saw this thing that is crouched down on all fours, probably its knees, head bowed down, and it was like gray skinned, like humanoid. Probably in this video it looks about 6 feet, maybe. Yeah, close to 6
Around
feet,
that.
just crouched down, and you can barely see it in the phone video because it is a little bit older, and it's darker, and it was only filmed with one flashlight. He gets closer, and as he gets closer, he's like, what is that? What is that? And you see like the outline of the body, and you see the head, and it moves at the last second. And he said he saw it like lift its head up and back up a little bit, like it's about to jump.
Yeah.
And so he's like, we ran out of there as fast as they could have, and they didn't look back, and they just kept running and running. So I recently contacted him for him to send me this video, and he sent me the video, and I'll play you guys the clip of the unedited version where there's no color grading, where it looks like it's all dark, and see if you guys can see it.
What is that? What is that? Oh my god.
Then I'll compare it to, I boosted all the whites, and you can definitely see something is there.
What is that? What is that? Oh my god.
That thing's freaky, man.
Yeah, we all saw it.
Yeah, bro.
It matches the exact definition of the Rake.
Yep.